It is the fault of Tinubu and his APC policies that price of petrol is more expensive in Nigeria than in many states in America. It is the fault of Tinubu's policies. Reno Omokri and many other supporters of the Tinubu administration can come and try to gaslight Nigerians and tell them very simple lies that it is because of international market prices of crude oil. In fact, the trending excuse now is that it is because of the US and Israel attack on Iran. And then that has resulted in the increase in the global prices per barrel of crude oil. That is why the price in Nigeria for petrol must also go up, because Dangote refinery is not getting enough from the NNPC and has to import in international prices and in dollars. That's the argument. In fact, the additional argument is that Dangote refineries does not even get crude oil for Naira swap no more, and that it pays for shipping, it pays for insurance in dollars at international rates. Those are the arguments. And to make matters worse, or to add salt to injury, people like Reno Omokri now take it a step further to use the example of prices of petrol in a state like California in the United States of America to generalize and say, see, fuel is more expensive in America than in Nigeria. Oh, even though America has more crude oil than Nigeria, you see, I am buying 12 gallons for $80. The other one came and said, oh, you see, I am buying 17 gallons for $100. So you see, fuel is more expensive in America than in Nigeria. Why are Nigerians complaining? Lies. Number one, in terms of crude oil reserves, Nigeria has more crude oil reserves than America. Yes, they extract more than Nigeria. In fact, they have the highest extraction capability. They extract over 18 million barrels of crude oil every day. But they need more than 18 million barrels of crude oil every day. They need about 21 million. So they even have to still import. But here is the thing. In the same America that Reno Omokri and the supporters of Tinubu are very quick to use the example and say that justifies the prices of petrol in Nigeria. That same America, you have over 10 states where the price of petrol is cheaper than in Nigeria. 10 over. Now, why would you even compare the price of petrol in America to the price of petrol in Nigeria? Let's even assume that that figure they quote for California, which is an extremely high figure, even according to American price standards, extremely high. $5, $6 per gallon. But you have states that go as $3.20, $3.50, $4 in the same America. That translates to about $1,100, $1,200, and 200 naira per liter in the same America. So why use the example of America? Why not use the example of Saudi Arabia, of Libya, of Iran? Why not use the example? Are those people not also having crude oil? Because you say, oh, America has crude oil. America has crude oil. Yes, America has crude oil, but ask yourself, what is the cost of extracting US crude oil? Almost $70 compared to the price of extracting Saudi Arabian oil, which is about $10. Why is the cost of extracting US crude oil more expensive? Because they need advanced technology for fracking. They need advanced technology because of the kind of oil they have, shale. We have better crude oil, sweeter crude oil. So why should ours, because our own cost of extraction is even less at $30-40, which is also high because of corruption. It's still cheaper than the cost of extraction in America. So why should our own not be cheaper than it is? America exports most of its crude oil. Almost 100% of its crude oil is exported because their refineries are built for heavy crude, not light crude. So they import heavy crude when they sell their light crude. And guess what? The only countries that have heavy crude, Venezuela and Iran. Does that give you any ideas why America might be invading those countries? Defending the interests of their citizens? So why can't we implement the policies of countries like Saudi Arabia? And this is not about subsidy. You say Dangote refinery does not get enough crude oil from NNPC. Why not make it such that you have policies in place that will take care of that, so that Nigerians can enjoy the benefits of crude oil, just like Libyans are enjoying it, just like Saudi Arabians are enjoying it, the Kuwaitis, the Qataris, and the Emiratis. Why can't we enjoy it? So let nobody fool anybody. When they use the example of California, it is an attempt to deceive you. It is a lie. There are places in America, the same America, where fuel is cheaper than in Nigeria. And the truth of the matter is, the price of petrol in Nigeria should not depend on international market price of crude oil. It shouldn't, if we have a government that thinks for the people and implements right policy. Nigeria should be enjoying now that the price of crude oil is above $100 per barrel. With a government that thinks for its people, implementing policies that are for its people, we could get prices. We get our refineries working. Get Dangote refineries to get all the crude it needs. They lie about, we don't have crude oil anymore. The crude oil we have, they have used it to take loan, to finance crude oil importation that we did not see. Come on. We all know this is a lie. I did a video on it earlier. So, blame Tinubu for the high prices of petrol in Nigeria. Not Iran or the Iran war. Not the high prices of crude oil in the international market. It is the bad policies of Tinubu that is putting us in this bad light. We have to speak truth to power. And this is not about whether or not you support Tinubu or you support Peter Obi or you support Atiku. No. This is about the Nigerian people. It is about the Nigerian people. By the way, what do we know? All of these are happening because the government of the day, the Tinubu administration, the APC, they do not see the need for them to do anything in the interest for the people. They don't. Because they believe that if they do what they do, they can force themselves in power, rig themselves in power, and then sustain themselves. Please America, get America to do what they want. Do America's bidding, quid pro quo, At the end of the day, they line their pockets with money, but the people of Nigeria are the ones that suffer. Let nobody deceive you. Crude oil is not petrol is not expensive today because of the international market price of crude oil. No. It is because of the bad policies of the Tinubu and APC administration and because of the corruption in the oil and gas industry. That is all. Not because there is war against Iran. Not because the price per barrel of crude oil has gone up. No. So for us, we as a people, we need to ensure that good leaders are elected into power. Even though we know that that cannot happen without free and fair election. Can we trust INEC alone for free and fair elections? The answer is no. So you and I must do our part, and that is to volunteer as PU marshals. Log on to www.votewatch.pro and register. sign up to become a PU Marshal. Because with PU Marshal, nobody can rig the 2027 election. And that's a starting point. Once the election cannot be rigged, the people will determine the leader they want. And once leaders know that it is the people that will determine whether they get to power or whether they return, the leaders will begin to do and implement policies in the interest of the people. That's the only way to save Nigeria. Many of you can argue and say, oh, it's revolution, revolution. What is the chance that a revolution will happen in Nigeria? What is the probability? Can somebody like a Sowore even stand a violent revolution? Will it be in the interest and benefit of Nigerians for a violent revolution? In this day and age, do we need a violent revolution? These are the questions. For me, what we need is an intellectual revolution. And that starts with votewatch.pro, where the people can come together and consolidate the people power. The power of the people is greater than the power of the people in government. It's greater. Just that the people are not looking at it yet. But I want to believe that if you have watched the video up to this point, that you are one of those people who believe that a new Nigeria is indeed possible, intellectually, smartly, smart, simple solutions. That's all we need, like votewatch.pro. So I want to appeal to you. Sign up. Let us save this Nigeria together. Let's stop leaving it to the same people that destroyed it to reform themselves out of power. They will not be willing to do so. It is up to you. It is up to me.